Alrighty, so today we are going to be talking about the king of Dokkan currently and who holds the crown or the throne, if you will, right? I've been seeing some debate on this now that Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta has been out for a little while now. I'd say that the sort of honeymoon phase with him where the animation's still great, right? Nothing with that has changed, but we can sort of see things through a little bit clearer of a lens now in terms of like who is number one, who is number two, things like that. It's not just, I've been seeing rumblings of it, right? Where it's not all of a sudden just Gogeta is undisputed number one. It's not even close. Why are we even having this discussion? I've been seeing some talk a little bit lately of the Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta being truly the number one unit in the game. So what I decided to do was ask you guys on Twitter if you guys wanted to, like, what did you want to hear? I don't know why I couldn't get that out, but I asked you guys on Twitter, who do you think is the number one character in the game? Not like directly who is the number one character, but you guys can see with this tweet here, who do you guys feel is better between these two units at the moment? This is for a video, so let me know your thoughts. So again, we're here on this video, and thanks to a good friend of the channel, Minato. He's got a lot of followers on Twitter. He boosted this up a little bit, so we actually have some decent support on this tweet. So we're gonna have a lot of arguments to go through and sort of make the case for both of the characters. Then what I want to know from you guys at the end of the video, who is the best unit in Dokkan right now? Is it the Super Saiyan Blues? Is it Gogeta? Or is it somebody else? Specifically, I asked between these two because I think this is number one and number two right now. But I think by the end of the video, we'll look at the arguments and then I'll kind of give a decision to who I think is the better unit at the moment. I think just saying it right now wouldn't really be all that productive. So let's go ahead and get started. So first up, we've got Towelette. We'll see how many of these I can get through. Again, 176. I can't do 200 replies in this video. It'll be 2 hours. I don't make videos that long unless it's like festival battles or something. But the Blues are so much better and everyone will understand this in a few months. Gogeta isn't always reliable without his active 10% damage reduction support or a Ki Blast super enemy. He needs at least one of these things, maybe more. Having 80% dodge and 70% damage reduction every single turn is better. I get that. I hear the argument there because this Goku does, have this chance to dodge pretty easy, right? Yeah, I mean, that's a solid starting argument, right? So like all the dodging that these guys are able to do, I think one issue specifically with what they're talking about here is the recent fight that we got with Omega Shenron in the boss rush is we have a lot of dodge disabling in that fight. And I don't know how much I'm going to credit, or how much I'm going to factor in this fight right now, but I had a lot of trouble no iteming this fight in specific. It's the, where is it? When the wishes backfire. Where are you at? 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 It's 8th anniversary. Here we go. So when we went into here, the boss rush, right? I haven't even looked at the stats of this fight, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, so a 7 million super. And again, you can't dodge in here. Disables evasion. Locks disables evasion, right? It's tough because these guys, like, they do okay with tanking the super. But again, it's like, this is where I think things can get a little bit dicey for this character. But I do see the argument that it's like, having that dodge is really nice. But then when we also look at the other hardest fight in the game, which I definitely think more people are concerned with, and let's, before you run to the comments, like, I know this is the hardest fight in the game. I'm just talking specifically for the sake of this video, right? The Goku Black and Zamasu fight. I think that you will find that the Blues sometimes can perform really good better in terms of like what you're looking for. But then the counter to that as well is that these are both Ki Blast supers in this fight. So Gogeta can just counter these guys, right? But the problem with a countering unit in that fight specifically is when you hit Goku Black, you're just buffing him. And that's not good because when this guy's buffed up, it's not good, right? Like you're in a really bad way when Goku Black is buffed up, right? Like you're just going to take a lot of damage, right? It's that's why I think physical Vegito Blue was just not designed for that fight. Like it sucks because I feel like he could have so much value in a fight with multiple enemies, but when you buff up Goku Black the way that you do with Vegito Blue, it just doesn't really work out as well as you'd want it to. So I definitely could see the argument where it's like these guys are going to age better. But we'll see, right? I skimmed through the replies a little bit here, and I saw a lot of clamoring for Gogeta. So this guy is in favor of the Blues, right? And it's the consistent dodge and damage reduction every single turn. So Gogeta gets folded by normals, so it isn't really close. Now, what I want to see here is hopefully people are being respectful, right? I've never died the normals. You're just using him wrong. See what I mean? So it's like this guy right here, like he ratioed the tweet saying he's never died to normals with him. Yeah, I can't say I've died to by normals to this character, but maybe I'm not playing the game enough. That could definitely be an issue where it's like I'm not taking him into enough scary situations. So never died to. The thing is this doesn't help. Like I'm trying to see. Yeah, he's just like recent repost. Okay. I don't want to say anything at turn 4, so it's bad. You can see hits hard into the special. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, like this gets a little bit toxic in here, but I just want to be careful. So like, I haven't really found that Gogeta gets destroyed by normals like extremely often, and it's like a lot of the times what you'll see with this is kind of just like a thing with social media too, and this isn't going to be like a rant or anything, but like with this Gogeta, what people will do is they won't do this, they won't bring these things, right? Or they won't trigger the intro buff, or they'll put Trunks of Vegeta in slot 3 and then be like, why aren't they tanking? Just things like that. But I do think that there is a scenario where like this Gogeta, I haven't died to a normal with him in my experience using him, and I've used him a decent bit at this point, but you can definitely get caught by a super. I think I'd be lying if I said that's not impossible, right? Gogeta right now is the only right option. Gogeta takes that, but both good right now, but he is the god of the game. Yeah, to me, it's like you can go either way right now, and it's sort of tough to say. I think really the best argument that we've had so far is the first one, because like there's just not a lot to be said here, so hopefully we can get some more other stuff. As crazy as Gogeta is, yesterday was my first time actually using the blue Goku / blue Vegeta, and I have to say I'm very fond of the utility they have. Goku is just dominant if he dodges. Yeah, that is another thing, right? Especially if we're talking in the context of the Goku Black and Zamasu fight, I think that is another thing to talk about, right? What Gogeta will do with these supers is counter them. So against Zamasu, this is really good. Against Goku Black, it's not as good. But do you know what happens to Blue Goku and Vegeta when they get the super and they don't dodge it? You lose. So it's it can be tough, right? But I think it really is tough, right? Like this is I like when the game is like this, to where you can have an opinion and not really be wrong. But it's tough, man. It's the Blue Goku and Vegeta. I really am sort of coming around to them. But yeah, I get that Goku. It's like. But it's when we say that, it's not like this chance still is at 100, right? Like you're good with this character on normals if you don't dodge, but if a super catches you, you can get tagged. I've definitely experienced that with 69% on these guys on JP, and that's where I'm mainly playing the game. So I definitely can see the argument to be said that you know, Goku is better, but you know, dodge or die is dodge or die. So. Gogeta, I think he hits like a cannon. I have yet to see him not reach at least 15 mil. Oh my god, brother, we're talking like I haven't seen him hit under like 30 mil. Other than events where you can't do the actual damage. Oh, are you saying like damage, HP damage to the enemy? That makes sense. But attack stats, we're way above that. I think at the moment, Gogeta, but they really left a gaping hole in his kit that they could easily make him age fast. I do think the tag blues are going to out-age him. I would agree. We're going to get to the 11th anniversary, and events are eventually like inevitably going to power creep. That is just sort of how the game operates, right? The bosses are going to start hitting harder and harder and harder, right? And Blue Goku, as so long as they don't just do permanent dodge nullification in events, he's always going to dodge and dodge and dodge. So this idea, and we also can't forget about the support that both of these characters have been giving, right? So it's like, this has always been the case since like the beginning of time with this game. Typically, the dodging characters out-age the damage reduction tanky characters, if you will, right? We look at 6th anniversary, the Easy A's specifically, the 6th anniversary Easy A's for UI Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta. You're not really running Evo anymore, but you can still run UI Goku in specific events because of his turn 1 dodging, right? It's always been that way. We'd have to look at like some examples, but like there might be a world by like the end of 2025 or midway through 2026 where people have the gods above the LR Super Saiyan 4s, right? It's definitely possible. I think one thing that the physical Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta has going for him is that Scouter, though. So it's tough, but this has definitely just been a philosophy of the game, because dodging is always going to be better defensively than tanking. But the problem with dodging is that 100% chance to dodge is just not consistent. And so when these tanking characters have nothing in their way that can destroy them, it's very nice and it feels good. But when we get to 6-7 months down the line and we reach an anniversary power creep, or we reach another GDC power creep, the character that's bobbing and weaving and taking 0 damage per hit is just going to always end up aging better. And I definitely see the argument here, because this guy, not only is he dodging, right? This isn't just a case of like all he's doing is dodging. He also has damage reduction right here, right? 60% damage reduction right here on this buff. And then when we have when we have all superclass, like we always have this damage reduction right here. So he's got the base dodging already, right? So like the 80% chance to dodge, the 70% damage reduction, this isn't going anywhere, right? With Gogeta, I could easily see a scenario where these GT hero characters end up aging out, right? And we could be in a situation where some of these characters are just not runnable, right? Like himself, he should be fine. I don't know what the timeline is for the 7 years, right? We could see. They're always going to have that term 177% damage reduction. In Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is decent, right? This AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku is one of the best aging LRs from the 10th anniversary, if not the best aging LR right now. The issue with the Dokkan Fest 10th Annie LRs right now with the Gogeta and Vegito is just the content is hard countering them. So just not a good spot for them. They still have very impressive kits, but they're just not in the right spot right now. So the argument of whether or not which character is going to age better is, I would definitely agree that 80%, 70% damage reduction, 80% damage reduction. No, why can't I math? 80% dodge, 70% damage reduction is going to age better than just what this guy is able to do. But with that in mind, right, it's so tough, dude. Like, it's so hard for me to go against the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I love this unit so much. That's the problem. It's like I just want to say Gogeta's better, but I definitely can see the argument for the blues. But you could definitely, like, I'm not really going to argue much that the blues are going to age better. The only caveat where the blues don't age better is is if like content is permanently dodge nullifying, right? Like that would be a problem. So next up, the Goku / Vegeta. For as much damage as Gogeta does, he gains no defense except on active, and the Goku has a better leader skill. Goku dodges everything, and even if he gets hit, he can live. I haven't seen, like, in the Goku Black and Zamasu fight, if they get hit with a super, usually I lose. Unless I'm just running them wrong, but I don't think I'm running them wrong, but I do hear you on that. Gogeta, for the most part, though, I've not had too many problems with in terms of, like, you are right? Like where you say this right here, where these super attack effects, like they're not raising the defense, like that really would have been helpful for them. But again, the defense is just coming from here, right? When they get the attack, when they're getting the extra defense from the super, like when it's important, you're getting what you need, right? Like when it's a super, your defense is, I believe, up to 400% right here, right? And you also still have guard and permanent damage reduction. So it's not like this character does not have defensive mechanics that are going to be okay with him, right? E-Blast Supers, very common right now in some of these harder fights. You have the chance to counter it. You have the extra defense. You have the guard. You have the damage reduction. You have the support right here. It's not like this Gogeta is just like a complete glass cannon. That is definitely not the way that he's designed. I think Goku and Vegeta have a bit of a better defensive skeleton with the dodging and the damage reduction. But like, let's not pretend that Gogeta doesn't have, you know, extra tools in his kit where he can't do something, right? It's definitely not the case with that. So Gogeta hits harder, but his leader skill is only one category, so if you don't have usable GT heroes, you might be cooked. Yeah, I mean, you can say that, and I guess that like that is a factor of a unit's kit, right? Like, what is their leader skill? Which one is their better leader skill? The thing with that to me is that GT heroes, this is why we didn't want him leading GT heroes, right? Because we saw this coming, and it was like, oh no, like we do time limit, do power beyond Super Saiyan, right? We knew it wasn't going to be Fused Fighters, right? Like Fused Fighters has got so many leaders this year. We don't need to pull that. Yeah, I'll pull it up. How many leaders has Fused Fighters got this year? Like 3? Yeah, 3. And then 4 if you count this Easy A, but that doesn't really count. So 3 major leaders here who were all extremely good, right? Number 1, number 2 in the game when they came out. This guy, arguably, number 1, number 2 in the game when he came out. So definitely like the leader skill. We knew that we didn't want GT heroes for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Like that was definitely a talking point where it was like, if it's GT Heroes, they're going to have to pull their weight. And they ended up doing quite a bit, but this is where the linking update becomes a problem because you can't link the int one with the AGL one. It's like, that's the cost of doing business with a standalone LR, right? if you want to do, which trust me, I much prefer this to a fusing character. So I am more than willing for him to not link with the int one. But in this specific case here, it's like, it would help the team so much more if you could just like set things up where you could put like the physical Gogeta 4 in slot 1 for a specific scenario, and then the int 1 could link with the AGL 1. Now, I understand why they don't do that, but again, I think this is like, this and the Omega Shenron scenario right now are like perfect examples of why that should work. So, yeah, but GT Heroes, it is, that's like, again, with him being the Carnival LR, I think that's also where things get a little bit tricky because usually they lead one category. Because you could say like, oh, Jiren leads 2, but Universe 11 is literally just Universe Survival Saga. And I think the way that they could have maybe done this is like, imagine, what if he was like I guess Shadow Dragon Saga really wouldn't be that much better, right? Because you don't want Super Class and Extreme Class like mixing like that, especially on a team like that, because Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Omega Shenron, like, what do they share? It's, where are his links? They'd share Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, and GT. I think that would be it, right? I don't think Omega has Shocking Speed. No, he doesn't. I didn't think so. So they would only share 3 links on that team, right? So it's like, wouldn't really be the best. And that's why, again, this GT Heroes lead, I just don't think is really what you're looking for in terms of the leader skill, but it is what it is at this point. I will say, despite it not really working the way we wanted it to, it's not like this team, they haven't tried to buff this team, right? Because if we just look from the release of this Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta onwards, and Pan, like they released at the same time, right? We're looking at, how many Easy A's is this? 7 Easy A's in the last couple weeks, right? And in the last week, really. So it's not like they're not trying to make this team better, right? It's insane how it's like, you still could argue it's like it's not that great despite like all of the buffs that they've done for him. But with a Carnival LR, it's just the way that things go. So it is what it is. Goku / Vegeta will probably outlive Gogeta. As nice and shiny as he is, exactly. He ain't surviving-ish. For now, it still works kinda, but seeing how they ramped up the damage lately, it won't be long before G4 ages out. He's literally living on his raw numbers. I don't know how I agree with that. Because it's like, if he was just raw numbers, this wouldn't be here. This wouldn't be here, right? I get what you're saying because of this right here. Like, imagine they crank this to 60 or 70. Like, if this was 70% damage reduction, we'd be in a good spot. But I see what you're saying, that he's trying to live off of raw numbers, but I think we have to sort of sit back and reassess on what a unit living off of raw stats is, right? You want to think about a character who is living off of raw stats. How do I pull this guy up? Is he on Fierce Battle? This is probably a bad way to do this. This character on release, this was a unit who lived off of his stats, right? The OG Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, right? The Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, the one that came out pre-Easy A, right? This guy, this was somebody who lived off of pure stats, right? And we're talking the non-Easy A version, right? Like right here, attack and defense 200%, attack and defense 40%, right? For 8 turns. This is what we call a unit that was just living off of raw stats, right? Not a character who has one of the better defensive mechanics in the game. Guard is always nice, and then also an additional damage reduction on top of that. So I get what you're saying because his numbers aren't as high, and I completely agree with your point that they're going to move up, like they're going to age better. Like that's not really what we're discussing here. We're just talking about who's better right now. But I definitely could see the argument that you're making in terms of who's going to age better. But we talked about that already, so I do appreciate it. I think if you're going to say that Gogeta is going to age better, or the blue Goku is going to age better than Gogeta, like I'm not really going to refute that too much, because again, dodging in terms of aging has always been king. It's like one of the best things you can do. Gogeta is a fish at 55%, just not true. He isn't good like the other 3 at 55%. This just isn't true. Gogeta is still more than capable at 55%, like, right? Like, especially if you think he's like not capable at the 55% level, just don't run the GT Hero setup, and just, you can hide him a little bit more on a setup like Fused Fighters, right? So it's like, I see what you're saying, that maybe like the blue Goku could be a bit better at 55%, but we're just talking overall, right? Like I think that 55% is a valid argument, but there's a lot of players, especially with these 44% tickets, right, that are having a dupe or two in these characters now. So unfortunately, if you got shafted, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. But 55% I don't think is like how like the entire game should be evaluated, but I do think that that is a valid perspective of saying it's like, okay, the level that a lot of players are going to have this character at, he's not as good, but I disagree with that. A fish at 55% is ridiculous. Like, come on. The number 2 unit in the game, he's at worst right now, number 2, and if you're number 2 for the top 10 LRs, you're not a fish. Come on. The blue's clear. I haven't had them die yet, but Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta has died to Rose normals and Festival normals already. Yeah, I guess it just depends on how much you care about Festival, and then if you're going to be running that setup specifically, if you're going to run Gogeta in the Festival, you have to bring Trunks and Vegeta, right, to innately stack that character passively. I think for the meta setup for Festival of Battles, Gogeta 4 is definitely not a part of that, but it just comes down to how much you care about the Festival of Battles, right? I don't think that that should be the bar, but I do understand what you're saying, because the Festival of Battles, the end of the Festival of Battles specifically, is just so far and away different from what we are used to seeing in terms of everything else, right? Can you talk about it? Absolutely. But would it be fair to say like, oh, this unit can't take a 7 million normal, he's a fish, right? Like, I don't think so, right? Like a 7 million normal right here, a 24 million super, you just have to run Trunks and Vegeta. So, but there is like an argument that it's like, okay, but Goku and Vegeta can dodge it. And I completely agree with that, right? They can dodge it. They can potentially have the damage reduction that they need. Fine, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you no. But again, it's just like, how much do you value Festival? Because Gogeta is not built for the Festival. This is not a character that was designed with the Festival of Battles in mind. He was much more catered to the content of the GDC, right? Like, where we're talking about not Festival of Battles, we're talking about this boss rush, which even then it's like, I don't know. The fact that they like lock the dodging and then this isn't like there's no blast supers in here. This is just a bad event. Like, just for the way that they designed it, like this was definitely not designed for Gogeta 4. And that was kind of the argument that people were making, or the first guy was arguing, where it's like, you need all these specific things for Gogeta 4 to be good. But like the counter argument to that as well is that this boss rush right here, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, or the blue Goku and Vegeta, like right here, right? Like their dodge is disabled. So they're going to take a 7 million super to the face. Like, that's not exactly ideal for that character either. So it is a tough spot. It is a tough spot right now. I think it's a fun discussion, though. Gogeta 4 is better right now, but the tag blue boys will last longer in the meta. Yeah, we've talked about that. I think the blue boys, because the blue boys are defensive goats, feel like they are the next Beast Gohan, especially because they can start dodging anti-dodge bosses after popping the Vegito active. Yeah, that's a good point. I should have mentioned that. Someone's left that in the comments, and I'm sorry that I forgot, but you are right. Like, you can get around this with the active skill. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I'll have to like set a reminder or something to like pin that and be like, yeah, I forgot about that. Just because I know people are going to run to the comments and say that, but like I forgot about it in that moment, but he is right. So it's that is how you get around that. Gogeta is quite a lot better, but the blues are fantastic units in their own right. To me, it's not like I don't think there's a gap between, like a massive gap between them. And to me, I think that this take is sort of stemmed from the, like, you're still captured in the sort of hype of Gogeta 4 and the beauty of the animations compared to Blue Goku Vegeta, right? Because I definitely don't, a lot better is definitely not the case. Like, from the arguments that I've gotten in this comment section here, a lot of people are leaning towards the blue boys, and that's okay, right? At the moment, it's Gogeta, but I see the blues out-aging every unit from the celebration with their high dodge, and their defense could get pretty high with Vegeta and Trunks support, impacting them heavily. Sure, right? We've talked extensively at this point about how I think Goku and Vegeta are definitely going to age better. It also just depends on how content goes, right? These things can always change. We've had things that like sometimes you'll just get hit with a curveball, right? Like we think about how AGL UI Goku, like I always vividly remember this during the 7th anniversary. AGL UI Goku was like doing fine, right? Like he was the #1 unit in the game until the 7-year blues and Forge dropped, and then we hit like the Goku or the Broly red zone, right? And then just UI Goku just falls off like a cliff, right? And the same case could be said for that Goku and Vegeta if we somehow end up in another meta where the whole fight ends up being dodge nullifying, right? Because one turn of the Vegito active is not going to like completely get rid of that, right? It's that's not in battle, right? It's just for that turn. I don't want to sound silly. Where's his active skill? Evade these attacks in battle. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's crazy. You would just use that there. Yeah, so maybe not. It is crazy, right? Like just how many things to go that way. It's something. I think really what I'm getting from this video, like the vibe I'm getting, is that they're more consistent, right? The blues are just like consistently, you guys are just saying the blues are more consistent, and I definitely could see that. Gogeta has higher peaks, but the blues will age so much better. Gogeta should have had a universal count. I completely agree with that. Gogeta definitely should have had a universal counter. Only being blast is killing him right now, right? Because this fight, if he could counter every super, he would be looking good, brother. Like he'd be looking really good. But this icon right here, like this is indicated, like this is indicative of a blast, right? Not a blast, not a blast. Like these two different ones. Not a blast, a blast. Not a blast, not a blast, not a blast, not a blast, right? So right away, he's not countering any of these, right? These are blasts, though. He is countering these, so that is interesting to note. So it's a tough spot, right? Yeah, it's something for sure. Yeah, a universal counter would have just helped so much. Goku, just for the fact that he can support more units and building teams, but fun-wise, Gogeta. Yeah, I definitely am having more fun using Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but I definitely see the concept here, or the argument here, that the blues are just a little bit safer, and the way that they support their leader skill, right? Like, we've talked about that extensively at this point. Fused Fighters, Future Saga, like, it's just, this category right now, Fused Fighters is, it has to be the best team in the game right now in terms of the category, because you have, like... Yeah, right? Like, what's a better category than this right now? Is there a better category than this right now? Because you've got like these four characters, all very good. You've got these, like every character from like this point onwards, all very good, right? These two very good. Gotank's still very good. You're very good. You're very good. I don't know. That's tough. Like, what is the best category? Like, I know like what good teams are, but I don't know individually, like stacking up what is the best category. It's probably Fused Fighters right now. But I hear you. Unfortunately, I think he's speaking Spanish here. Let's see if we can translate it, and we'll see. Does that help? Just barely managed to get Gogeta. It's my only new unit. Nice, man. Good stuff. I like Gogeta, but the problem is the Goku/Vegeta are better at fitting into different teams, and I have to say slot 1 with their dodging, but if we were going straight for damage, then Gogeta, but the versatility, the Super Saiyan gods. Yeah, straight damage. The thing is I guess that just comes down to a philosophy thing, like what are you playing the game for? What do you enjoy? It's a lot of times with this, it is like a lot of people I think are enthralled by damage, right? They think it's a it's like a sexy thing, right? People get really excited seeing big numbers of damage, and it's like, oh my god, Gogeta at 55% on his active skill turn is hitting for 125 million and then doing 3 more 90 to 100 million supers, right? And it's like, yeah, that's impressive, but at the end of the day, just, and it's not because it's more fun, but it's just inherently the way the game is designed these days is that defense is king, right? The only event really where you're gonna have to be like, you're in a problem where it's like you're not dealing, like you have to deal damage is like the Festival of Battles, right? The Festival of Battles is inherently designed so you can't run a turtle mode team. Because really what you could do in the Festival of Battles, if there wasn't a charge limit, you could just run like, probably run the OG like Hybrids Turtle team from like 2021 with Tech Ultimate Gohan and like AGL Kamehameha Gohan and stuff like that, and just make like 6 invincible Gohan stacking characters or 7 invincible Gohan stacking characters, and you would just never lose, right? But what makes that's what makes the Festival of Battles so much fun, right? Like, yeah, it sucks that it's 3 hours or whatever, but you do have to deal, like you have to consider the fact that you need to do damage. So it's like both of these things are important. So I guess it is like important to talk about that. So yeah, defensive versatility and stuff like that. Dokkan has just like in their core philosophies made that king. So it's like if you are somebody who's just playing the game to have fun and do damage, I think Gogeta is going to be more up your alley. But if you are looking to have a character that's going to impact the fight, I think, a bit more, it is going to go to the blues. I genuinely think they're about even. The blue boys have a better leader skill and utility, but Gogeta's counters and damage go crazy, plus his support. But he'll age faster, especially with no defense on super. Yeah, for sure. I definitely see that. I feel like Gogeta is really good turn 1, but in the long run, he isn't really the best. Goku and Vegeta aren't as strong in the start, but if we're talking short fights, it's Gogeta. That's better. But if it's a long fight, I'd rather have Goku and Vegeta. Yeah, I think that makes sense, right? Because Gogeta, once this intro buff wears off and everybody loses that 70% defensive support, that is definitely not ideal. And Goku and Vegeta, you know, with their with their ability to stack their attack and then also provide their support that they're doing, right? All very, very good stuff. It's interesting. The support. It's on here. Yeah, raises allies' defense by 60% on the turn. Right. That's the extra support that they have, right? So it's always interesting, right, with these things. And yeah, if we're not talking, this guy didn't really say it, right? But if we're just talking about who's aging better, it's definitely gonna be the blues for sure. Personally, I think the blues have more potential for more content, but Gogeta's 4's counter and insane damage stats in only 4 turns or something else, so I'd say Gogeta. So if you're somebody who likes the short content a bit more, and maybe it's not just a Rose and Zamasu fight, then I definitely get that. I haven't used Omega yet, but I can tell how great Gogeta is. I've used him for quite a bit. Despite his lack of defense, he hits hard enough to make up for it, and often does survive most attacks in slot 1. So I don't know what Omega has to do with this, Mr. Eevee trainer, but I hear you. It's like they say lack of defense, but to me, it's like the issue with the lack of defense is the lack of defense on super. I think that's really like where it comes down to for me in terms of like where you're saying lack of defense, because we talked about this earlier where somebody said that he's just a raw stat unit, but like you just look at this right here, like how many times, like, you know, it guards all attacks, damage reduction rate. Like he has guard, he has damage reduction, he has an ability to raise his defense on the active, right? Like it's not like he's just a stat unit, right? But I do hear you, right? But the blue boys, yeah, like especially right away with that extra support, he's fine. But after that Gogeta wears off, it's a bit interesting. Gogeta is number 1 right now for me, but the blues will age far better. Sure. I hear you. As a free-to-play player who has both of them at 55%, I would say the blues. Gogeta surely tanks better at 100%, but if Goku dodges, he takes 0 damage. Again, Adrian right here, my boy, he gets it, right? in the age-old dodge versus damage reduction, a dodge is 0 damage. Even if it's 12 damage, it's still damage, right? At 55%, it's easily Goku and Vegeta, no contest. I see the vision, right? Goku and Vegeta definitely have a more 55% friendly kit with their ability to dodge and have damage reduction, right? Like just dodging is king. Like if you're free to play and your 55% units are most of your characters are 55%, dodge is king, right? Because if you have to rely on dupes to tank, we've talked about this, right? I've said this till I'm blue in the face, right? If a unit needs dupes to be good, then that means, like, especially on release, when they're a brand new Carnival LR or a Dokkan Festival exclusive LR, it means they're probably not that good. But don't get it twisted, right? Gogeta at 55% is still a dog. Like, let's not get that twisted. They are both incredible and they do awesome together, but IMO, Goku, and Vegeta are better. But as others say, it's like a 1A, 1B kind of deal. Yeah, that's how I sort of was seeing it with the Gogeta and Vegito of 10th anniversary. I remember I threw Beast Gohan in at 1C and I got destroyed for that, but I stood on it, right? Because it was like, at the time when those characters were out, the only hard content was Festival of Battles. Or not Festival of Battles, Battle Hard and Formidable Foes. And Beast Gohan's intro buff was constantly resetting, so he was fine. So I don't want to hear it. Right now, definitely Gogeta, but if the bosses normal start hitting harder, then it's wraps for Gogeta. Blue's easily better. Will age better, for sure. 100% Goku and Vegeta, they are more stable and have a real leader skill. I get that. Very close as of right now, but Gogeta has way more bad scenarios than the Blues, and the Blues are on way too many teams and have way too much utility. The Blues comfortably, I'd say. Yeah, I hear you. So it seems like the community, at least in my replies here, are definitely leaning towards the Blues. Gogeta is great and amazing now, and Goku/Vegeta have more long-term viability. Yep, for sure. It's tough. The Blue Boys have amazing slot 1 utility with dodging, and if they don't dodge, then they can tank. However, with G4, he is very reliable slot 1 tank and rarely gets caught. Overall, I gotta say G4 for the damage and super he does. The Blues are a very close second, though. Yeah, the thing is, though, I kind of disagree with this point here where he's, and rarely gets caught. If you go into certain content, he can definitely get caught, right? Like, I've ran this, at this event at this point, right, where he gets caught in here, right? Like I've definitely had experiences, like not with normals like people are saying as much, but it definitely, you can get caught, right? Like this idea that he's an invincible slot 1 tank is definitely not true. So it's a bit of a tough spot, right? That's where the physical Gogeta 4 really comes out and helps him a bit, especially with his ability to counter supers. That's at least how I've like experienced using them. It's been good. Blue Goku and Vegeta are the far more valuable unit IMO. They don't fall off in the slightest and only get better as the fight progresses. Gogeta is a nuclear machine, but it's only a matter of time before bosses start hurting him with normals. Yeah, but the thing right now, I think a lot of people are too caught up in like how these characters are going to age. But so I got to remember Sap. Okay, that's where I was. Sap. What did I ask in this right now? Who do you guys feel is better between these two units? Right here. Not how do I feel about these characters in 6 months, right? just something to keep in mind, right? I wasn't like, it doesn't mean that your argument is invalid. It's just, I'm just trying to, you know, state that it's like, okay, we still have to think about these things. The LR Blue Boys feel better overall, but G4 feels better in a vacuum. G4 in his perfect situation, probably, yeah. But the Blue Boys overall, I think are better built to deal with adversity. Current content Gogeta, he just can't take damage from anything, doesn't need to build up, and does a lot of damage turn 1 and to fight. Yeah. If you're a short content guy, I get it. Personally, this is your favorite at the moment. What do we got here? Ooh, a Rainbow Rosé. Okay, I see you, bro. Nice. Gogeta is better, but the Blues have the better team. Yeah, for sure. I feel like Blue Goku is safer, but Gogeta does more damage, and I think Gogeta will feel worse in the future because things will start to hurt. I like the way this guy describes it. He's going to start to hurt. Yeah, I feel that for sure. A lot of people talking about how these characters are going to age in here. Gogeta is better right now, but I feel like the Blue Boys will have a longer life. Yep. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is better right now. However, the Blues will age better. Yep. Listen, it's not a wrong take. Blue Goku is so good, but Gogeta 4, this is, just say G4, bro. Go G4. It's beyond from that. He has a crazy start of turn, or a crazy start, and doesn't need to stack to reach the damage that Blue Ku can. And defense, yeah, Blue Ku dodges and tanks, but the defense of Gogeta 4 includes his Ki Blast counter. Problem is, it's just not every fight has a Ki Blast counter, right? The Blues are objectively better. 80% dodge plus damage reduction, and his active also gets rid of dodge canceling. Yep. People are saying Gogeta is better because he's Gogeta. He's going to get power crept in a month. He's already taking damage from normals now. The idea that he's out of here in a month, I hard disagree with. He will be fine in a month. When we get to the Annie, maybe we can start talking about it. But the thing with the way that this game typically works is like the hard content we have right now. Like, get ready to fight this guy a lot, right? Get ready to see a lot of thumbnails from YouTubers, and this isn't a problem, but get ready to, where's this fight, right? Where is it? Get ready to see this logo a lot, right? Because unless part 3 drops like a bomb of a hard fight, like this is going to be the hardest fight in the game. And usually that's how it stays for a very long time until we reach a certain point where the fights just stop doing that. And in this case, I don't know when that's going to happen, but it's not like we're just going to, like, from now, and I'm not going to be sitting here talking to you at the beginning of September, and we're talking about how Gogeta is just completely unusable. I disagree with that, but I hear you. Like, this is good. I hear this, but this stuff I disagree with. The Blues are more reliable. Gogeta is just great in his second appearance or against enemies with Ki supers. Yeah, you got to have a specific situation at times, and that can be a bit frustrating. Gogeta is better now. Fusionless will age better. Yeah, for sure. Gogeta, broken AF, but I love the STR Blues. They never disappointed me. Neither of these units disappoint me. G4, Blue Goku never dodges for me, and they're kind of overrated. Yeah, so this is just results-based evidence or analysis right here, where the character's just not dodging for him, and therefore he's not as good. But listen, your experience is your experience. Definitely Vegito. Dodge is so powerful, and they can cancel dodge canceling really good, right? Gogeta is just damage reduction with not a lot of defensive capabilities other than a counter and 200% defense. Gogeta is good right now, but Vegito is going to outlive Gogeta. Yeah, that's, if there's one thing that you guys are going to take from this video, what is it, right? This isn't even a discussion in my mind. I believe with time they'll be better, just like Easy A MUI Goku versus Evo Vegeta. But right now, Shadow Dragon, dodge lacking, can't be caught slacking, Gogeta in 4. What? He's doing the Shannon Sharp thing, but Evo Vegeta. But right now, Shadow Dragon, dodge lacking, can't be caught slacking. Okay, yeah, we're rapping. I don't know. Gogeta is better, but the Blues will end up aging better. Okay, all right. So we're kind of just singing the same song and dance here. There's so many replies to this tweet. I appreciate you guys. King Gogeta easily. Yeah, so it's been fun, right? But I think we'll call it there. This video is about 40 minutes. That's typically longer than what I do. But let me know in the comment section below. What do you guys think? Overall, I'm sort of going to take the 1A, 1B approach right now. After like seeing what you guys are saying, I think I'm sort of leaning to the blues being overall better, but it is very hard to like say somebody is better than this Gogeta just because of how much I've been enjoying this Gogeta character. But again, it just comes down to so many different factors and what you play the game for, what you enjoy. If you want to say Gogeta is better, I don't think that's like a clown take or anything like that, but the blue Goku and Vegeta have made a strong case. So again, let me know down below who you guys think is better and all of that fun stuff in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this longer discussion video, let me know in the comment section below. Leave a like if you did enjoy this one. Subscribe if you're new so that way you don't miss out on any of my Dokkan content. Thank you guys as always for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.